I am beating every N64 game, and I mean all of them. The twist is, the next game I play is randomly selected, so I have no clue what's coming next. This is the journey to beating every N64 game. Game number 172, Madden NFL 2000. Released in 1999, this game was developed and published by Electronic Arts. Oh snap, John Madden is back. It's our third Madden game of this challenge, and the last one was definitely better than the first. So if the trend continues, this should be even better, right? Look, I get it, it's sports. But when I say all of them, I mean all of them. It's not specific to the N64 either. If you look at literally any console's entire full game library, the extreme majority of it is stuff you'd probably never be interested in playing. I actually liked playing football games growing up, but I didn't really get into them until the PS2. Playing on an N64 controller is quite rough. Anyway, let's get into it. The game had quite a lot of settings, which is a good sign. You could even customize how the AI would behave, as well as the frequency of penalties being called. It's nice to give the player control. So the way we handle sports games in this challenge is to win the main championship in the quickest way possible. This game has a tournament mode to act as going to the playoffs, so that's what we'll be doing to beat this game. It actually has a franchise mode where you could continue playing with the same team for over 30 consecutive seasons. So if you can't get enough of playing against the computer, this would be the mode for you. I had to set all the teams myself, so I just picked random ones. I knew I wanted to play as the Rams though, because they were awesome back then. The kickoff meter was getting closer to resembling the ones I know from modern games. It's kind of interesting to see the progression of it over all those years. Play selection looks pretty good too. It's intuitive to pick up and you can flip plays with C up. The one thing that bothered me is B selects a play rather than goes back one menu. I'd frequently accidentally choose the wrong play thinking I was doing that. The Seahawks had John Kitna at quarterback, Ricky Watters at running back, and that's about all I recognize on their offensive roster. Although, looking it up, they had the legend Shaun Alexander on the bench for his rookie season. Probably should have put him in there. The Rams had Grant Wistrom on defense, and I think that's the only name I recognize. I got a sack and it popped up that I got a 3-point Madden challenge. This game added a series of challenges for you to complete that gives playing against the computer a bit more variety. It always feels good to have achievements to strive for. Some of them are crazy, like returning an extra point for the 2-point conversion or whatever you get for that, but it would be nice to work towards. For the Rams, we had Trent Green at quarterback and the legend Marshall Faulk at running back, as well as Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt at wide receiver. Even Orlando Pace on the offensive line. He had to be good for me to recognize his name. I think Kurt Warner is supposed to be the quarterback, but guess the game got it wrong. For passing, you drop back and have to press a button to bring up passing icons. Still, even in this game, the passing it doesn't work great. You can press the button lighter for a lob or harder for a bullet, but I don't know. The quarterback just can't lead someone well. In previous games, I'd have it thrown behind them often. In this, it seems like they'd lead them out too much. Maybe it's just a skill issue and I suck, but I was really good at these games on the PS2. Even if I take control myself, it would still just be a bit too far out of reach a lot of the time. Granted, that was a big pass, but still. I got a clutch sack with Grant Wistrom to make it tied up 0-0 at halftime. It was after several more bad passes that I decided the Rams weren't the team and quit out. I decided I'd play as the Vikings now, and my first game was against the Falcons. Yeah, it wasn't going much better. Man, if you do play action, don't. It just does not work, like it's completely broken. And what is this? Randy Moss just gets hit in the face by a perfect pass? Come on, that wouldn't happen. The Falcons had Chris Chandler at quarterback along with Jamal Anderson at running back, who just so happened to get the first touchdown of the game. The players really loved to celebrate in this one, although the frame rate struggles to handle it a bit. We had Randall Cunningham at quarterback along with Hall of Famers Randy Moss and Chris Carter at receiver, but it just didn't matter. Passing was so rough in this. Although I think they're dropping it, that wasn't my fault. Another new thing they added this time around are stamina meters. You can see them before a play and they will be worse at the lower it gets. Oh hey, I actually caught a pass finally. It's about time. Yeah, I reset the game again by the way. This time though, I was for real. I'll take this time to talk about the graphics and audio. I think the graphics are pretty good, like they'd improve with every release, and this is no different. It's just a tiny bit better than Madden 99. The game runs smooth for the most part too. For the audio, you just hear the sounds of the players yelling and colliding and the occasional crowd cheer. There's commentary from Al Michaels and John Madden, but it's very basic, and on this N64, it's so muffled you can hardly tell what they're saying most of the time.
Over the middle.
Yo, nice catch. One thing that drove me nuts is how the special teams was divided into 3 separate menus. When you're going for an extra point, the default is set to punt. Like, why? That makes no sense. I felt like I'd finally gotten used to controlling receivers now. If you throw without taking over yourself, it's so unlikely you'll connect. But controlling them yourselves increases the chance quite a bit if you know what you're doing. I managed to take down the Falcons 13-0. Can't believe I won on the very first try. Wow. My next game was against the New Orleans Saints. They had some guy named Billy Joe Hobart at quarterback and apparently Ricky Williams at running back? I never knew that. Let's get into the highlights. The Vikings opted to kick first and Gary Anderson just blasts the opening kickoff over the back of the end zone. Dude's wearing steel toes. On the opening drive, Hobart throws it over the middle to John Farquhar, but he can't hang on. That was a big ol' hit there. Next play and Hobart just can't connect. Way overthrown there. The Saints were forced to 3 and out. First play for the Vikings, Robert Smith gets the toss and a respectable 4-yard gain. Third down now, and Cunningham has Randy Moss over the middle, and oh my goodness, how is that not pass interference? The defender was completely blocking him, come on! They opt to go for it on 4th down, and somehow Chris Carter pulls it in with one hand in double coverage. I've never seen such athleticism. 3rd and goal now, they hand it off to the fullback Harry Morrow, and he fumbles! The ball lands directly in Keith Mitchell's hands, and that's a horrible turnover for the Vikings. You've gotta hang on to the ball when you're in scoring position like that. Come on, man. The Saints trying to get out of dangerous territory now, and Hitchcock with a beautiful no-look deflection. It's like he's being controlled by a third party. The Saints ultimately have to punt, and David Palmer rumbling, bumbling, stumbling for a 20-yard return. Love the hustle from the special teams unit. Very first play for the Vikings now, and Cunningham has it picked off by Alex Molden. Oh, he's going to be kicking himself in the locker room at halftime for that one. Speaking of halftime, we made it there, still tied up, no one scoring. On the first play of the next drive, Cunningham drops back, and he's really got all day to throw. Great blocking here. One of the worst passes I've ever seen though, directly to the defender. Somehow not intercepted. 3rd down, and he throws it to the left side, but Chris Carter just can't catch it. How are these future Hall of Famers dropping so many passes? But then they try the exact same play again, and Carter comes down with it. Nothing but green in front of him to the 20, the 10. Dives over the pylon, touchdown Minnesota. Now the Saints looking to answer. Ricky Williams on the pitch gets around 20 yards. Beautiful resilience out there to not go down. Now 2nd and 8, they try another toss, but Ricky Williams is absolutely leveled by Jim Nelson. He really laid a licking to him. The Saints were forced to punt, and it's not looking good for them now, folks. The Vikings begin to run out the clock, but Smith is just getting first downs anyway. Beautiful blocking there by the receivers. With this first down, there's nothing New Orleans can do. The Vikings take the win 7-0. What a game, folks. Well, it was now the final game, and I was against the Green Bay Packers. They had Brett Favre at quarterback, Almon Green at running back, and even Bubba Franks at tight end. One other interesting thing this game does is in between quarters, it asks trivia questions. I don't think you gain anything from them, so it's just kind of for fun. You all know the answer to that, right? Anyway, I beat the Packers 11-0, and that was it. The Minnesota Vikings had won the Super Bowl thing. Look, this was a point in the challenge where I was very fed up with sports games. In more recent ones that I have played the full season to get the actual Super Bowl ending, but this is what I did for this game. One other thing this game offers is arcade mode. In this, there's a turbo button, the hits are much bigger, and the commentary is slightly different. I think this was them trying to push NFL Blitz out of the market, but we all know that didn't work. The other thing is the cheat codes. Yeah, this Christmas stadium's kind of weird. I'm supposed to be playing as the Clowns, and we're up against the Industrials. However, I think it just looks like a bunch of Luigis running around. As far as I can tell, there is no big head mode, which is always a disappointment. If you're wondering, the credits can just be viewed at any point from the options menu. But yeah, that's about all there is for this one. Game complete. So yeah, there you have it. My journey to beating Madden NFL 2000. I'd say this game's a slight upgrade from Madden 99. The Madden challenge would certainly be a cool thing if you really like spending time with the game. As far as the gameplay goes, it's alright. Running is still the main thing to do because the passing just isn't there for some reason. At least on this one, you can reliably take over the receiver yourself and fix it. I've said it every time and I'll say it again. These simulation-style sports games just didn't age as well as the arcade ones. It feels so janky as someone who loved them during the PS2 era. Also, I thought the commentary was quite weak. It's a big part of these Madden games, and at least for the N64 version, it's quite poor. Probably shouldn't give this one a try unless you're feeling nostalgic for it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 10 for enjoyability and a 2 out of 10 for difficulty. Alright, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We had a randomized marble race to determine which game was next, so here's how that played out. Or skip to the timestamp on screen to skip straight to the game selection. We got 219 left on the list. Alright, you see them all here. Ridge Racer, Hercules, Cruisin' USA, Banjo-Kazooie, GoldenEye. None of those are getting picked. Let's be real here. Let's go. Alright. We got the marbles all coming. It looks like J-League and Fox Sports College Hoops. No, Shin Nippon Wrestling. I think that's sumo wrestling. Shin Nippon Wrestling, the first to come down, it appears. But we'll see. GKO World Soccer 3. Shin Nippon Wrestling Big Mountain 2000. Just so many top titles here. Earthworm Jim 3D. That's something I've actually heard of. Shin Nippon Wrestling in the lead still. Goemon's Great Adventure, though, coming in. Namco Museum. That would actually be kind of fun. I think I had that on the PlayStation. Namco Museum 64, the first up the elevator. Heiwa Pachinko. Oh, no. No, Nushitsuri. Oh, my God. This is a disaster. Please, some lead changes. Nushitsuri on the lead on this side, Pachinko in the lead on this side. Oh my goodness, folks. But we got a lot coming up still. It is not over. Coming down the spiral here into the funnel. That's where we'll see some things happen. We're just waiting. I believe Nushitsuri and Pachinko. Nushitsuri, quite an advantage over Pachinko on the other side. Namco Museum, though, trying to capitalize on this slow exit from the funnel, and Nushitsuri fending off Namco Museum. We're going to come down the ramp here, and we'll see. We got split paths here. This comb is going to knock the marbles different places. As let's see what's going to happen. Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey. I kind of forgot about that one, but that was one of the first games, still the sequel to it. And Golden Nugget is off. And the next WCW game, that's WCW NWO Revenge. And it's just launching forward, and that's what we're going to play, folks. Unbelievable. It came out of nowhere. WCW versus NWO Revenge. I actually had that game as a kid, so I'm kind of excited. Man, that was quick. It took forever for the others. This is a weird race. Alright, the next WCW game, which is WCW versus NWO Revenge. It has been decided. But yeah, if you're still here watching, you're awesome. Thank you so much. If you had a good time, consider hitting that like button, or maybe even dropping a subscription. Or hey, maybe even watch another one of these videos that's on screen now. And yeah, see you next time.